Domestic abuse can be in a romantic relationship, it can also be in a family relationship, and I personally think domestic abuse is when harm is done to the other person and when there's a dynamic of power and control.
It can be physical, emotional, mental, financial or sexual in nature. It is the ability to really control someone's life through any of these different means.
Domestic abuse can affect anyone of any age, any culture, any sex, any gender, any religion. You know, it's a recognised phenomenon worldwide.
Doctors, nurses, teachers, MPs, binmen, everybody.
We usually classify it as when somebody enters a relationship over the age of 16. But this isn't necessarily limited to romantic relationships. Domestic abuse is something that happens in dynamics that's within the family home.
Statistically, it does happen more so to women and perpetrated by men, but that's not to say that it doesn't happen to men as well, and there are many reasons why men might not feel comfortable to disclose that.
There's physical abuse where people have come to refuge where they are bruised, they are hurt, and obviously that they are the cases that can be easier to put into effective steps and preventions, whereas some of the other forms that we regularly see, like the emotional and the financial abuse, we don't see until far later down the line, where there have been coercive behaviours that are built up over time to the point where someone hasn't actually been out of their house for a year, 2 years.
The whole process of domestic abuse is to, degrade and to erode somebody of their confidence and strip them from their self-esteem.
Being told what you can wear, what you can do, where you can go, who you can see is domestic abuse. And for many victims, being able to recognise what's happening to you as domestic abuse is absolutely key.
Red flags might be that somebody's coming in with unexplained bruises. They may seem very anxious about speaking up.
It could be that overprotective boyfriend or girlfriend that pulls the person in. Why are you talking to that person that works in the shop?
There might not necessarily be physical bruises or physical signs, but it might be that that person's withdrawn, being more isolated from their friends, family and support networks.
It can be very subtle to begin with. It may be some questions that they'll be asking, things that they'll be saying to you. It could be that you would notice their physicality, their presentation. It could be that the clothing they're wearing is inappropriate to the season of the time of year.
It may well be that they keep looking behind them because there's somebody outside waiting for them. That's another sort of indicator. It may well be that they've got some visible injuries that look very fresh and very recent.
So it could also be substance misuse as well. So if people are using substance as a way to cope, so alcohol or drugs, that can also be an indicator of domestic abuse.
If somebody's, saying to you something about their injuries and it doesn't necessarily correlate with what they're telling you, the circumstances, it's, having the confidence and using your initiative to ask questions and to try and find out that, the real story in order to safeguard that person.
The strongest things that I could say is if something feels wrong, act upon that and see whether or not that would help someone.